Good morning. My name is Willie Gordon. And today, after my speech, you will all understand how the Army plans on building a better NCO. The Army has some of the greatest combat veterans in society. The men and women in the Army can go and be deployed to go fight and win any battle placed before them. But in saying the same, those same NCOs have a less than stellar education system provided for them. In my brief, I will show how the Army plans on building a better non-commissioned officer. Today we will discuss increased relevance, increasing the challenge, and finally we will review distributed learning, which is also part of the Army's distant learning training. First, I will show how the Army will increase relevance. Next, I will show how the Army will increase the challenges to the NCOs. And finally, I will show how the Army will review its distributed learning. Increasing on the relevance. One of the ways that the Army has planned on building better NCOs is to increase the relevance in training. The Army will relook the critical task list to basic soldiering skills. As of now, many of the schoolings NCOs attend, such as the Warriors Leaders Course, Advanced Leaders Course, and the Senior Leaders Course, are classes that are often an after-the-fact course. Most NCOs who were asked about their classes and how it relates to their job, some expressed they had already learned due to on-the-job training. A Miss Tammy Bankus, a senior operations analyst, will be looking into when training should be placed into a soldier's career. Is it before, during, or after? The second way the Army is looking into building a better NCO is increasing the challenge. Increasing the challenge for many of the NCOs that have been out there, they have said that a lot of our training is a check the block, as we've all seen before. It's just so we can go by and get our chain of command to understand, hey, we are done, we've completed it. But the soldiers who were surveyed spoke about how training was not difficult, and it seemed to set on gaining numbers to make the higher-ups feel better about the numbers. So it was a false positive, as you would say. The Sergeant Major of the Army, Command Sergeant Major Chandler, is looking at a more tailored approach for the individual soldier. He will have his staff of senior non-commissioned officers look into a self-paced training module, which would allow for faster learning for our non-commissioned officers and would help with those non-commissioned officers who learn faster to progress faster in their careers. Finally, in my brief, we will talk about reviewing the distributed learning. This has also been called the distant learning training module. This will still continue to be a major staple in the Army's training module, as soldiers can go from deployment to deployment, duty station to duty station, and still be able to gain military knowledge. And this is very important for our young enlisted, but very and mostly important for our non-commissioned officers as they reach the mid-level to upper-level managerial positions. All right. The Army is looking into targeting the redundancy, the relevancy, and the level of difficulty when it is in reference to distant learning training. Several NCOs surveyed about the structured self-development training, which became mandatory 1 January of 2014 for all soldiers and NCOs who are competing for promotion. The NCOs, or non-commissioned officers, said the training was little to no challenge whatsoever. But those in the survey also stated that they had completed less than 10 distant learning courses over the past 5 years. Also, many have complained about the accessibility of something that is supposed to help us, to help the non-commissioned officer. So Command Sergeant Major Chandler, who is the Sergeant Major of the Army, is looking at having the NCO DL training module mirror that of the civilians or college students that are out in society. So, in conclusion, I have shown how the Army's plan on building a better NCO. First, increase relevance. Next, increase the challenges. And third, and finally, review the distributed learning. I am Willie Gordon, and thank you for attending my information brief. Thank you.